Good evening. This is Batcat Productions. Now, I probably saw one of the worst movies that has ever been made on the planet. Well, I can't go that far. It is pretty bad, though. Krampus, the Christmas Devil, has to be the worst movie ever put on film, or damn close to it. I want to poke my eyes out, so there's absolutely no chance that I can see that movie again. I will be having nightmares for weeks after watching this. It was so bad. Acting, horrible. Cinematography, horrible. FX, horrible. Story, horrible. Everything about it, horrible. I mean, I literally want. I don't know why I do this I don't know why I do this stuff to myself. You know, it's like it was awful. It was completely awful. Do not do it. That's all I gotta say. You know, you might. If I had known what I was getting into when I decided to watch this, I can't remember what I was watching it on, but it was bad. It was bad. I know I didn't pay for it. That's the only good thing about that entire thing. I didn't pay to watch that crap. It was. I mean, some of these movies, I wonder how they even get on film. I mean, the production values are crap. I mean, they probably spent like, I don't know, maybe $1,000 making this movie. You know, it was awful. I mean, they really didn't even show you the krampus. I mean, it was like you saw the hand and it had, yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. All I gotta say is if you have a brain in your head, do not watch that movie. I mean, I literally feel like, I feel horrible. I literally feel like throwing up right now because of watching this movie. Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at, I've been talking a lot about, story building. I mean, if you're gonna build a story, and I mean, okay, so let's take it in context of you're making a movie. All right, you've got to get funding for a movie to be for real. I mean, you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to get $1,000 and friggin' use my iPhone to film a movie." It's like, oh, Lord, I don't know. Some people think that they can get away with anything. Anyway, it's, I don't really have much of anything else to talk about. I was going to go into, starting out how you build a story the beginning part of your story. Well, you know what, I'll do a little quick one. Alright. So let's say you're writing out a story. The beginning is probably the most important part of your story. Now, when you're writing that out, this is going to be like your first chapter. It's going to be the beginning, telling you what your story is basically going to be. You have to be able to bring in your characters. You got to be able to bring in the reason or at least the beginning reason of what's going on in the entire story. You've got to be able to, you know, have a sense of knowing what it is exactly that you're looking to do. So let's say you're making a story like, well, I don't want to give any examples because really it's really got to be what you're trying to do. I mean, so you like got your first thing that you're going to say is give them a general background of where you're starting from. You know, say that you're out in the hills, or you know, on you know, once upon a time type of crap. You know what? But I mean, once upon a time is pretty, you know, that's old school. Really, what you want to be able to do is be able to tell people in words what is happening to your characters, as far as landscapes, as far as who they are, possibly what they look like, possibly, you know, it depends on what you're working on, really. But I mean, that's going to be setting the tone for when you go into your body. It's going to make a difference on each step of that beginning, what is happening to that character. You're going to be setting that up so that the body makes sense. And that's the biggest part of this. And I mean, I would go into, you know, like giving you examples and stuff, but that's not really what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is give you a basic knowledge of the way you formulate that particular part of the story. And it's all going to depend on what you're writing. And, you know, it could be a movie script, it could be a book, it could be a comic book, it could be, you know, whatever. Yeah, but the beginning, like I was saying, is going to be a huge step towards getting to the body of your book, you know, of your writing. And really, that's about all you can really say about the beginning, because I mean, it all depends on where you're at and what that character is doing, or characters are doing at the beginning of that situation. So really, it's got to be, you know, right. It's going to depend, like I said, it's going to depend on what you're writing about. So that's really about it. You know, the beginning of your story is very important. And if you don't have an exciting, well, you don't necessarily have to have an exciting beginning, but you've got to have a beginning that allows you to work into something that is going to allow you to build off of that. So that's your biggest thing, is for it to make sense for your characters, for your outlook, for where they are and where they're going, so that you can go into that body of your story and start building off of that. All right, so that's really all I've got to say about, yeah, all right, yep. All right, you guys have a great night. This is Backcat Productions signing off.